must be the fourth Monday of the month because I've got another 5 Fun Facts Small Bite episode for you today. This is where I give you approximately 5 facts on some topic, nutrition and health adjacent, that I thought sounded interesting. So, what's my 5 fun fact topic for today? Today on episode 20, I'm talking about taste. No, not your taste in fashion or interior decorating. We're talking about the sense of taste. So why do some people like a food that other people hate? A lot of that has to do with the culture you were raised in. For example, think of things like Vegemite from Australia. Australians love it. People who didn't grow up in Australia have mixed reviews. There's also natto in Japan and hakarl. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but hakarl, it's a fermented shark from Iceland that is apparently an acquired taste. So let's learn a little bit more about the sense of taste. Fun fact number 1. There are 5 categories of taste. You probably already know this. There's sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Some people call that savory. Fun fact number 2. It's a common belief that your tongue has different regions that are responsible for different tastes. For example, the back of your tongue has receptors for bitter flavors. The sides of your tongue have receptors for sour, and sweet is on the top of your tongue. But this is actually a myth. It's been disproven. All of the parts of your tongue can taste all the different flavors. Fun fact number 3, let's talk about taste buds. You know those bumps on your tongue? Yeah, they're not taste buds. Those are actually called papillae, and they do contain most of your taste buds. Taste buds are too small to be seen. They're little nerve receptors, and most of them are clustered on or around those papillae on your tongue, but they're also found on the roof of your mouth and on the inside of your cheeks, even in the back of your throat and the top part of your esophagus. The esophagus is the tube where you swallow your food that goes to your stomach. Fun fact number 4, the ability to taste starts developing in the fetus by around 21 weeks of age, and molecules from the food that mom eats can travel into the amniotic fluid. So based on what mom is eating, the amniotic fluid is going to have a slightly different flavor to the developing baby. This is also true for breast milk. Different flavors from the food that mom eats can change the flavor of the breast milk. And in scientific studies, it has been suggested that the children of moms who eat a very varied diet, lots of different types of foods, different flavors, may actually be less picky eaters. So something to consider if you're expecting. Fun fact number 5. Let's talk about some things that affect our ability to taste. The most common one is just age. Humans are born with approximately 10,000 taste buds, but that number declines as we age, and by adulthood, we only have around 2,000 to 4,000 taste buds. So since children have more taste buds than adults, they may be more sensitive to things with really strong flavors. A normal taste bud life cycle is around 2 weeks, so they die off and are regenerated about every 2 weeks, but this process slows down drastically starting at around age 40. So not only do your taste buds regenerate more slowly as you age, they also shrink, and this results in a diminished sense of taste. So bad news, as you get older, not only do you lose taste buds, but they become less sensitive, and this is why many experts believe that foods that you didn't like as a child, you may actually like more as an adult. I mean, if you think about all of these adults that eat our vegetables, many of us started out as kids who wouldn't touch them. So, although there are ways to help children be less picky and to accept more of these strongly flavored or bitter flavored vegetables, there's probably a physiologic reason why they are less inclined to eat them. Another factor that influences our sense of taste is our sense of smell. If you've ever had a head cold, you know this. Your food just doesn't taste quite as good. In fact, a big percentage of our sense of taste is actually coming from our sense of smell and not the taste itself. Now, with COVID, many people lost their sense of smell and taste completely while they were sick, and sometimes even for months afterwards. And this is because the COVID virus not only affects the function of the olfactory receptors, that's the receptors in your nose that help you smell, but it also damages your taste buds. Now, the least known factor that affects our sense of taste is actually sound or noise. A loud environment can affect your ability to taste certain flavors. People noticed that the sale of tomato juice on flights is way higher than pretty much anywhere else. People drink more tomato juice while flying than they do in pretty much any other situation. And scientists studied it, and they discovered that while flying, people prefer a savory flavor over a sweet flavor. And it turns out that the loud noise on an airplane actually affects your taste receptors, your taste buds. It can suppress the sweet taste receptors and enhance those umami or savory receptors. One airline actually reported that their passengers order 53,000 gallons of tomato juice per year. That's a lot of tomatoes. The last factor influencing your sense of taste that I want to talk about is your microbiome. The oral microbiome, that's the type of bacteria living in your mouth, can directly affect your taste and your preference for different flavors. There are around 700 different types of bacteria living in your mouth. That makes it the second most diverse microbiome in your body after your gut. Your gut has well over 1,000 different types of bacteria. Those bacteria in your mouth actually vary from region to region. So the type of bacteria that lives on your tongue are going to be different from the ones living in the gums around your teeth, also floating around in your saliva, and there's different bacteria at the back of your mouth and throat. And this is why when you go to the doctor with a sore throat and we want to check you for strep, we have to gag you with that Q-tip because you don't have strep tongue, you have strep throat, right? We have to test the back of your throat, the pharynx, for the strep bacteria. So now you know. The type of bacteria in our mouth affects our sense of taste in a variety of ways. To start, it can interact with your taste buds directly, affecting how we perceive certain flavors. For example, people with higher levels of lactobacillus bacteria find that sweet flavors are more intense, whereas people with higher numbers of Prevotella find that bitter flavors are more intense. The bacteria also participate in digestion. Digestion actually starts in the mouth. The enzymes in your saliva start breaking down your food, but the bacteria also participate in this process. So as soon as you eat, the bacteria and the enzymes go to work and they release all of those molecules that we can taste. All right, that's it for this Small Bite Fun Fact episode. I hope you found it to be in good taste. If you enjoyed it, please take a minute to follow Eat Your Greens on whichever podcast app you use. And if you feel extra motivated, just take a second to give it a 5-star rating and leave a review. If you'd like a free guide to transitioning to a plant-forward lifestyle, all you have to do is go to the Eat Your Greens website. That's www.eatgreenswithdrblack. You can scroll to the bottom of any page to find a subscribe form. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to eat your greens. Please be aware that this podcast provides general health information about nutrition and feeding of infants and children and is meant for educational purposes only. It's not intended to replace the important relationship between a parent, child, and pediatrician. If you have concerns about your child's nutrition, health, or growth, please consult your doctor.